What's going on, YouTube? I'm back in here. Happy Tuesday, Taco Tuesday for those who want to keep it culturally consistent. This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. Welcome to the table. Today, I'm gonna be discussing something that I feel is very important and very necessary in this space that we call the manosphere. A lot of my content is always to give a different perspective in hopes to where people are starting to wake up and become aware of their natural abilities, social indifferences, social norms, cultural differences, and so on and so forth. The point of me being here is to provide you guys with the ability to start asking yourself certain questions, assessing things, and hopefully getting better results in your life on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. That's why I'm here. So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna jump into my kitchen because as you guys know, when I get on camera, when I get on this channel, when I get into the kitchen, we gonna start cooking. That's what we're gonna do. So, nice guys and why they finish last. You know, I had a question posed to me last night by my brother as I was sitting down at dinner with my family. And he had asked me, you know, because he's a nice guy, and I at one time was a nice guy. Being a former nice guy myself, a retired nice guy myself, I felt I could speak to this particular epidemic situation from firsthand experience. So what I was explaining to him, because he wanted to know, you know, as being a nice guy, how do you go about arriving in the mind of a woman to where she's less likely to friend zone you? Now, there is no guaranteed way or system to be able to prevent a woman from friend zoning you. However, there are things that you can do to put yourself in a better position to be perceived as an option for her that is not someone that she wants to waste her time on friend zoning. And one thing I explained to them, the table actually, because it was my mother, my father, my sister, and my brother, I was saying that as a nice guy, it is within your best interest to present the type of persona that at any point you may just pull a titty out. Like, you may just grab on her titty. And the reason why I think this way, again, being a former nice guy myself, there was a time to where I didn't understand that interacting with a woman in pursuit of her, there's a window of time, a small window at that, fellas. And what you have to show her is a component of you that she understands without any doubt that you don't perceive her as just a friend or someone that you wouldn't make a move on, which is a reference to the titty. It is often said that if a woman will lay in a bed with you and not feel that you would touch her, you're safe. You're a nice guy. Because women that perceive a man to have a certain type of attitude or, you know, awareness about themselves, meaning he's not gonna allow a girl he's attracted to lay next to him and be in close proximity without him making a move. That's just what it is. So anyway, so I was explaining it to him, and what I was trying to convey to him is that you can still be who you are. At the depth of who you are, you can still be the nice guy, the quality man that has all the good characteristics. However, just like I spoke to the series last week, and I hope you guys enjoyed that, the last installment for that series was being a gangster. And this is a part of that. The assertive nature of a man is of the utmost importance. Now, why am I talking about this? Because some people may be asking, Daniel, why are you talking about this? Why is this relevant right now? Well, I believe it's relevant because I interact with a lot of guys that I'm starting to realize that they don't understand this simple principle in knowing how to assert themselves, knowing how to convey their interests without being creepy, without being overly aggressive, without being crude, and representing the negative aspects of being a man. You know, there is a smoothness to learning how to convey your interest and your pursuit with a woman. But a lot of guys don't really have this niche. They don't have this skill. I'll call it a skill. That could be lack of experience. That can be nervousness. That could be a combination of things. A lot of people collectively are socially awkward. A lot of men collectively are socially awkward. And so talking to women and being effective with women is a skill set. Takes some time, takes some practice, takes a lot of uncomfortable interactions to start to learn how to get your flow right, how to turn a situation from going cold to warming up back to hot. And the reason why I wanted to speak to this is because I believe a lot of guys don't truly understand how important it is that you can still be that guy. You can still be that dude who, may just want to date one girl at a time. That's perfectly fine. You may be the guy who is totally okay with being in a relationship. That's also fine. But fellas, in order to get in the race, in the position to compete, because it very much well is a competition, especially nowadays, especially with the internet and how much male attention women are getting on a regular basis, they get male attention overload. It's an oversaturated market of men shooting their shot at these randoms, hitting them up on Instagram, the DMs, the Facebook, the Snapchat, the TikTok. And so by the time she interacts with you in whatever capacity, she's already been inundated with so much male attention and almost desensitized to the fact that she may not even really see you, nor really even hear you. And most women, in my experience, put most men in the category and they minimize his full range of who he is before they prejudge. They prejudge. I'll just say it like that. They prejudge you. Now, as a nice guy, fellas, it is of the utmost importance that you understand that you have to be willing to lose. What do I mean by that? I mean that when you go into enemy lines, when you cross enemy lines, when you approach this woman, wherever she may be, the grocery store, the bookstore, a seminar, a club, a bar, it don't matter. You have to go in understanding that you may not be successful. And that's okay. The 50-50 chance. Now, this is not lacking confidence. It's just probability. But what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't walk into the situation thinking and feeling that you have to have this particular woman. Why do I say that? Because at the end of the day, a lot of what you're going to do, fellas, is you're going to be utilizing experiences to gain experience for yourself. For those moments that you are put in a situation, let's say you're on an elevator, then that's a year from now. You don't put yourself in a position to practice, become more well-versed, build some confidence, maybe hit the gym, change up your swag, whatever it may be. Beautiful woman walks on an elevator. Probably one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen in your life, right? A year ago, you wouldn't have known what to do. You probably would have been nervous. You probably would have been awkward. You probably would have been strange, whatever. But now you done met me, Daniel Rucker, who's helping to guide you to the elevation of yourself, right? Now, if this woman in this scenario walks in the elevator, she's obviously physically attractive to you, and you want to somehow, some way strike up a conversation. Well, you got a small window of chance because the elevator, depending on how many levels and flights of, whatever, you may have anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute, right? Now, this is where you got to be observant, fellas. This is where you have to figure out, outside of the attraction, what is my point of talking to this woman? If you want to get her attention, if you may want to potentially ask her out or whatever it may be, observing what she's wearing, maybe the book bag that she's carrying, the purse that she has on or carrying, or anything about her that stands out that is not overly sexual but also screams that you're paying attention. And you got to do it in a way, again, that is quick, precise, non-creepy, but get to your point, right? I can't tell you exactly how to do it. I can't tell you exactly what may work because it has to play to your strengths. If you're a funny guy, do something that's comedic. If you're a guy who is, I don't know if you can sing. Maybe you bust out a note or something. But you have to do it and present it in a way that it's natural. Because the one thing about women, fellas, is that they can tell when you're overcompensating. And they can tell when you're trying too hard. And they can tell when it's a line or it's rehearsed or it's fake or it's phony, right? But if this opportunity comes across your way, I encourage you to put yourself in a position to give it a shot, to shoot your shot. Why? Because the worst thing she can say is no thank you, I'm not interested, or I'm married, or I have a boyfriend, whichever, however. But it's not about that. See, you gave an opportunity to test your ability, to test where you are now, to test how much you've grown. And in order to test this, fellas, you have to shoot your shot. You got to put yourself in a position. So, why again is this important? It's important because a lot of guys somehow, some way assume that just going to the gym, just getting your money right, getting your swag right, picking, nice clothes, cologne, the combination of the package that is the man is enough. That walking into a room or putting yourself in a position to be visually looked at by females is going to open up more opportunities for you. No, I'm here to tell you that's not true. You only eat what you're willing to kill. We're hunters. That's what it is. If you're not willing to try to kill it, then you can't expect to eat. And a woman is essentially your meal, fellas. If you're hungry, then you need to be willing to go and hunt. When you are working on yourself, when you're elevating oneself, your skill set, your awareness, and so on and so forth, always remember that it is of the utmost importance to truly be who you are. If you're a romantic type of guy, be that. If you're a funny type of guy who likes to have a good time and goofy and all that, be that. But on top of those components, you have to adapt more about you. It's kind of like being a version of yourself, but you have to now download more features. Every man should have a base model of himself, but it shouldn't remain in that state. Because fellas, I'm here to tell you, you're only as good as the progression you make. You're only as good as the advancements that you make, and you're only as good as what you produce. That's just what comes with the plight of being a man. And that's okay, because you're equipped and you're ready for it. And you got me. So I'm gonna make sure that you're aware that you need to always be looking to strive to be one's best. Don't think that you have to compete with another man. Don't think that you maybe not having a, hit the genetic lottery or having the same complexion, or I know a lot of girls love colored eyes. If you don't have the colored eyes, you work and play to your strengths. And you figure out where you hunt and you're most effective when you hunt. Maybe it's not at the nightclub. Maybe it's not, dancing is not your strong thing. Maybe it's not the cold pursuit in the grocery store. But you got to figure out what works for you. I promise you, as you continue to become more aware of these things, fellas, it will boost your confidence. It will change your trajectory. It will change your outcomes. And it'll start to build the confidence that is necessary to continue to progress into the very person you need to become. So that's what I wanted to touch on today briefly. Just give you guys something to chew on, something to think about. Like I said, I'm in here. I'm serving up these meals of information, and hopefully it's feeding your mind, your spirit, your soul in some aspects, because I want to see people win. That's what I want. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Before you check out, go ahead and hit that like button. It's free. Don't cost you anything. Go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. Until next time, I'm out. Thank you.